Hello, Suna. How are
Hello,
you?
I'm
How are
very
you?
good.
Great. It's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you today. I
Yeah,
believe
that's
this is your first session with me. I hope that
yeah,
you will enjoy the session. I hope that you have listened to my introduction and you have a fairly decent understanding of what it is that I do here and on Verbaling.
yes.
To tell you a little bit about me and then I'll ask you about yourself. My name is Priscilla and I am a conversational English coach. What a conversational English coach does is to help you develop your speaking abilities in such a way that you will feel confident in what you're saying when you speak to anyone, whether it is a native English speaker, whether you're speaking with your family, friends, or associates or people that you would like to employ when you become a person who owns his or her own business. So that's what I will help you do today. I start out with simple stories to give us a reference point for our conversations. Now, tell me a little bit about you, Suna. Where are you from?
Yeah. I'm from Korea. I live in San Francisco. I'm a terrible beginner.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think that you're going to do fine. I understood exactly what you said. You live in, uh, well, I know it's San Diego, California. And the reason I had the pause is that my son lives in, I forget, someplace in California. My son lives in California, but it is not San Diego.
Uh,
But but anyway, your speaking abilities will soon improve.
yeah.
And we have Fidel. Hello, Fidel. It's good to see you in this session. I hope that we do not have any technical difficulties this time, and you will be able to participate 100%. I'm
Okay, thank
going
you.
I'm going to go ahead and get started. Suna, rather than always using your name right now, I'm going to give you a number. You will be number one, and
Okay.
Fidel, you will be number two. So if you will remember your numbers, it will be easier for me to keep up with who's doing what and how you are progressing in our conversations. I'm going to go now. Well, Suna, I'm sorry, Fidel, would you like to introduce yourself and where are you from again?
Okay, thank you. Um, Hello, everyone. I'm Fidel. I'm from Guatemala. I am a student, and I'm studying English for many years. I was studying English, and but I couldn't um, practice, so I'm come here to in order to practice my abilities.
Great.
And thank you.
So you are here now to practice your conversational English. You are at the
Yes.
right place. Thank you. I'm going to now share my screen. And the topic today is better to be unlucky. I have lots of images in the story. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Now, Sam, an unemployed piano tuner. So now we know what a piano tuner is. A piano tuner is someone who comes to your home or your business or wherever there may be a piano that needs to be worked on. A piano tuner is someone that comes in and fix your problems. Sam, an unemployed piano tuner, said it was only the second thing he had ever won in his life. The first thing was an Afghan blanket at a church raffle. So here we see an Afghan blanket. A blanket is something that you use to cover yourself. It could be something for decoration. And he won this blanket at a church raffle. And we can see that a raffle might be a ticket that he received when he participated at the church where he won the piano. Well, actually, he didn't win the piano. That's his job. His job is to tune pianos. So he won an Afghan blanket at a church raffle when he was 25 years old. He was only 25 years old when he won an Afghan blanket. But this was much bigger. It was $120,000. He actually won $120,000. He had won the big cube. Now, we don't know what a cube is yet, but he had won the big cube at a state lottery game. To win, a contestant must first guess which number a spinning cube will stop on. The cube has 6 numbers on it: 1x, 10x, 50x, 100x, 500x, and 1000x. If he is correct, the contestant must then guess which of the 2 selected variables is going to be greater. So, just guessing which number appears on the cube does not guarantee that you will win any money. Sam correctly guessed 1000x, but he still had to choose between 2 variables. One variable was the number of cars that would run the stop sign at Hill Street and Lake Avenue in 6 hours. The other variable was the number of times that a teenage boy would change TV channels in a 3-hour period. This was a tough decision. Finally, Sam flipped a coin. It came up heads. So Sam picked the teenager. He picked right. The stop sign was only 76 times, but the teen clicked 120 times. 60-year-old Sam jumped for joy, for he had just won 1,000 times 120, or $120,000. Sam dreamily left the lottery studio. Talking excitedly on his cell phone while crossing the street, he got hit by a little sports car. Sam is slowly getting better. He was in the hospital for a month. His hospital bill was $1,110, and the insurance company for the little sports car owner sued Sam for $9,000 worth of repairs. Also, Sam still had to pay federal taxes on his winnings. Sam doesn't play the state lottery anymore. He says it's better to be unlucky. Now I'm going to come back to our area, and let's talk for a moment about what actually happened. Do you know what actually happened, Fidel? Did you understand the story?
Yes, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because,
That's okay. That's okay. Were there any words that you heard me use that you were not clear on? It's okay if you didn't understand the story. You will understand it before we end this session. Were there any difficult vocabulary? Yes or no? You don't have to tell me what they were.
No, I think there is no
Vocabulary problems?
vocabulary
Okay.
problems.
Okay, Suna, what about you? Were there any problems with understanding the story or difficulty with the story or the vocabulary?
I don't understand exactly.
Okay. Well, we'll better understand as we go along. Hello, Peter. How are you?
Hello, teacher Priscilla. I am doing very well. Thank you so much. And you, how are you?
I'm fantastic. It's good to see you.
Good
All
to
right.
see you.
Thank you. Peter, you will be number 3. When I call on you, you will be number 3. And let's see, we're going to start with number 2 is going to be Fidel.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1 is Suna. And number 3 is going to be Peter. 3. Okay, why can't I get that down there? That's okay. We'll just leave it right there. Peter. I'll change that to Peter. All right. As you're reading, Suna, as you're reading, you will come across words that you don't understand. If you do, if you don't know the meaning, I want you to ask me the meaning. Would you please start reading for me, Suna?
Yes. Sam, unemployed piano tuner, said it was only the second thing he had ever worn in his life. The first thing was an Afghan blanket at a church raffle when he was 25 years old. But this was much bigger. It was 120,000. He had won the Big Cube, a state lottery game, to win a constant multiple guess which number a spinning cube will stop on. The cube has 6 numbers on it: 1x, 10x, 50x, 100x, 500x, and 1000x. If he is correct, the contestant must then guess which of two select variables is going to be greater, so just guessing which number appears on the cube does not guarantee that you will win any money.
Okay, excellent. This word, Suna, is contestant. Contestant.
Contestant.
And this word is cube. Cube.
Cube.
And this is he is. He is.
He is.
And selected. Selected.
Selected.
Awesome. Can you tell me, were there any difficulties in what you just read? Did you understand what you read?
Afghan blanket at a church raffle. What does it mean?
A church raffle? The
Yes.
church were raising money. They were trying to raise money for something. Maybe they were planning to take a trip. The church members may be planning a trip, and in order to get money for the plane or the bus or whatever transportation method they were going to use, they needed money. So they had a church raffle where they sold something. They actually sold tickets for this church raffle. So the church raffle is up here, where they sold these tickets up here. Remember the tickets that they're selling at the church raffle. And what did he win? What did he win at the church raffle? What did Sam win at the church raffle? Do you remember?
Yes.
What did Sam win at the church raffle?
Afghan blanket.
That's right. He won an Afghan blanket. What did he have to do to win the blanket, Suna? What did he have to do to win the blanket?
Don't know.
Yes, he had to buy a raffle ticket. He had to buy a raffle ticket. Raffle ticket is?
Yes.
Ticket is something you purchase with a chance of becoming a winner. What is a raffle ticket, Suna? Suna?
Yes, our raffle ticket is
Something you purchase.
yes, something you purchase with a chance of becoming winner.
Great. And how old is Sam? Well, how old was Sam when he won his first?
Yeah, he was 25 years old.
Very good. He was 25 years old. Great. Fidel, are you ready? You're up next to read.
Okay. Let me see my part because
Sam correctly guessed.
Okay, thank you. Sam correctly guessed one. Sam correctly guessed 1000x, but he still had to choose between two variables. One variable was the number of cars that would run to stop sign at Hill Street and Lake Avenue in 6 hours. The other variable was the number of times that a teenage boy would change TV channels in a 3-hour period. This was a tough decision. Finally, Sam flipped a coin. It came up heads, so Sam picked the teenager. He picked right. The stop sign was wrong only 76 times, but the teen clicked 120 times. 60-year-old Sam jumped for joy, for he had just won 1,000 times 120 or $120,000. Sam dreamily left the lottery studio, talking excitedly on his cell phone while crossing the street. He got hit by a little sports car.
Okay.
Oh.
This word is 3 hour. 3 hour.
Okay. 3 hour.
Do you understand what you read?
Yes.
Can you tell me which variable did Sam win? Which variable did he use, or which variable did he win?
Okay. The variable was the okay. Sam won the variable about the boy clicking the change TV channels.
That's right. Okay. How much
Hello?
did Sam win? How much did Sam win?
He wins $120,000.
Right? What did Sam do when he won the $120,000? What did Sam
do? He left the lottery studio and
he jumped for joy.
Yes, he jumped for joy, and he was talking by phone, crossing the street.
And what happened when he crossed the street?
He didn't realize that a little sports car came and the car hit him.
Good. What color was the sports car?
What color?
Yes, what color?
I don't know.
Good. That is correct.
Okay.
Awesome. Peter, you are number 3 and you are up.
Okay. Sam is slowly getting better. He was in the hospital for a month. His hospital bill was $110,000, and the insurance company for the little sports cars owner sued Sam for $9,000 worth of repairs. Also, Sam still has to pay federal taxes on his winnings. Sam doesn't play the state lottery anymore. He says it's better to be unlucky.
Okay. Do you have any questions about what you just read?
The insurance company is the hospital's company, right?
No, these are 2 different bills. He went to the hospital because he was injured.
Oh, insurance. I know what is that. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
Not worth. What is worth?
Worth.
Worth. $9,000 worth.
Worth. The word worth is a total. Worth,
Total. Okay.
total cost.
Total.
So I could ask you, what is it worth to attend Verbling classes? It's the same of what is it, what is the cost, what is the worth, what is the value? So did Sam die in the hospital?
No, he didn't.
He did not die. So that is correct. Sam did not die. Did Sam get hit by a car?
Oh, sorry, please repeat.
Did Sam get hit by a car?
Sorry, I don't understand because my internet connection is really slow and your voice break a little.
Did Sam get hit by a car?
I don't know.
That's
Did
fine.
Sam get hit by a car? Yes, did. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
okay. When I read your
Did Sam get hit by a car? Okay.
Yes.
Was the car being
Was the car being towed by a truck? No, this is a car.
so says that his hospital bill was $9,000. Is that correct?
$9,000. Yes, this is correct.
Are you sure his hospital bill was
Oh,
$9,000?
no. Sorry, not hospital bills is $110,000.
Okay. And the repairs for his car is completely free. Is that correct? The cost of repairs for his car is free. Is that right?
No, that's not true because the car's repair is the worth of repairs is $9,000.
Okay. So why do you think Sam says he is so lucky? Why do you think Sam feels he's lucky?
No, he doesn't lucky because he paid the total. What is that?
The hospital bill.
Hospital bill and the repairs bill.
Very good. Awesome. Very nicely done. So now we're going to go back to our class and we will have a discussion about this story. Fidel, who is this story about? Who is this story about? Is it about a girl or a baby?
No, the story is about Sam, a guy who bought a lottery raffle.
He bought a raffle ticket. Sam bought a raffle ticket.
Okay.
What did Sam do with that raffle ticket? What was he able to get with that raffle ticket?
Afghan blanket?
That is correct. He got an Afghan blanket. Do you have raffles in your country?
Yes, but raffles. Yes, a lot of in the church.
In the church?
In the schools.
Mm-hmm.
Even sometimes at the works.
Okay. Have you ever won anything?
Yes, I sometimes. One time I won video reproducer.
Wow. Okay. Good. So now, Fidel, can you ask some questions to Peter or Suna about the story?
Okay, Peter, do you believe in the lucky?
No, I think no. Now he he is in a hospital, and he pays too much money. He unlucky.
So, Fidel, you were in the class prior to this one, and I believe you were in the one where the beggars were in the street and someone gave the beggar something. Were you in that class?
Excuse me, teacher. Can you
did you-
repeat?
Yes.
I couldn't understand.
Did you attend my class about the beggars?
The beggars?
Beggars, the people who did not have money.
No.
Okay, that's fine. I wanted to ask you, what is the difference between this story and the one where there was a beggar that a rich person gave him a pearl that was worth thousands of dollars? But if you were not in that class, then it does not matter. All right, Suna, can you ask Peter a question about the story?
Peter, Sam. When Sam was young, when he was young, his own money.
Sorry, I don't understand.
She wants to know, did Sam use his own money to buy the lottery ticket? Did he use his own money to buy the lottery ticket?
Oh, I see. Wait a minute,
It doesn't say. It doesn't say. Do you think he used his own money? It doesn't tell you whether he did.
He used own tickets and money.
He used his own money to buy the tickets.
Yes.
All right. So
Teacher,
here are, yes?
may I tell you a little bird story about the be lucky and unlucky?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll try because I need to improve my English conversation. Okay. Sometimes there is a war in a town, so the army can come to looking for the.
Okay, just a second. I'm going to help you tell your story in a way that we all can follow it and understand. So what I'm going to do, can you see the screen now?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to type and then I'll summarize. All right, continue. Start from the beginning again, Fidel.
Okay. Many years ago, there is a war in a town. So the army came to the town looking for young people to go to the war. So a man who days before bought a ticket, a raffle ticket, won a horse. So all the people of the town tells him that he was very lucky, but in the same day he won the horse, his son broke his leg mounting the horse. So the people say again that he was to go with your son to the hospital. But when the army came to the town in order to looking for young people, his son couldn't fight, so he was the only one who didn't go to the war. The people tell him again that he was lucky. So it's the end. That's the end.
Okay, so I think I have the story. So let me see if I can tell the story. Once upon a time, the people in a village were at war with someone else. I don't necessarily know who, but the army set out to come to the town and ask all the young people to participate in the war. On that same day, the man had one son, and he had bought a raffle ticket, and yay, he won. He won a horse. And everybody just screamed and shouted, "Oh, you're so lucky, you're so lucky, you are a winner, you have a horse. Now you do not have to walk on foot to the market. You don't have to drive and carry water by hand because you have a horse." And the man was so happy, and he thought he was lucky too. And on the next day, he had his son mount the horse. But the little boy wasn't strong enough to stay on the horse, and he fell off. The little boy fell off along with the vegetables that he had bought from the market, and everything was strewn across the street. And the little boy cried and said, "Daddy, Daddy, my feet, my arm, my leg, I'm all broke up." And the daddy says, "No worries, I will take you to the hospital right away." While the father was on his way to the hospital, he met people from the army, and they said, "Sir, where are you going?" And he said, "My son, he just fell from his horse, but please, please wait. We will be back, and my son wants to participate." And the army people says, "Well, we'll see, but we will only be here for a day." When the army people got there, they collected all the young people, and the mothers just cried, "No, no, not my son, not my son, don't take my son." The man brought his son home from the hospital that night, and all the young boys that his son used to play with were gone. His son was laying in the bed with a cast on his toe, a cast on his elbow, a cast on his neck. And he said, "Daddy, I really wanted to go with my friends." But the people in the village said, "You're so lucky. You got to keep your son at home with you. Our sons are gone. They may return, they may not. We will never know." And that is the end of the story. You like my made-up story?
Yes. Congratulations. You
Well,
could be a good grader, right?
okay. Well, I read a lot, but I will tell you that the way that I made up your story and I added more to your story, this will develop with you as you continue to practice conversational speaking. The stories does not need to make sense. What you need to do is to exercise. You need to exercise your muscles in your brain, exercise the muscles in your mouth, and get yourself accustomed to speaking.
Okay.
And I will say again, there are grammarian classes on Verbling, so I don't spend too much time concentrating on grammar. I just want you to speak. And I think, and we're just like halfway through the session, I think each of you has a good idea of this story about not being lucky. You have this idea in your head. You may not be able to tell it very well, but you know the story. I did not know Fidel's story about his unlucky person, but now that I made the story my own, I know the story. And as I continue to reflect and think about the story, I will get better at delivering what this story is about. If you believe me and you continue to come, you will see, I would say within maybe 30 days, it won't be that you can speak about anything, but you can speak on anything that you have had some discussion on. And that was why I was asking Peter if he or Fidel, if you had attended my earlier session today when we talked about
Excellent.
being unlucky. So you could take the information from the earlier lesson, apply it to this lesson, and it becomes a big snowball. Because when you continuously follow a particular teacher, now that is not to say that you should only come to one teacher. You should go to as many teachers as you can afford. But if you follow one teacher, as my example, I'm only teaching you conversational English. I will not teach you grammar. I will not teach you long stories. I will teach you short stories so that we can talk about them. And you can take, say, for after 50 sessions with me, for example, my sessions will tie into each other. And I'll give you an example. We talked about ice cream. We talked about the little boy that is 2 years old that wanted to drive the car. We talked about the beggar. We talked about the shark bite. We talked about
What's the meaning of short bite?
shark, like a fish,
Shark.
like a fish in the sea that
Okay.
bit you, and you had, and so you could take the shark bite and go to the hospital because this man took his son to the hospital. So you can use the vocabulary that you learn there in this lesson or some of the ideas, and you start building and building and building, and then you think, oh my God, I know this stuff. And then one day I talked about the Constitution of the United States, or I talked about the rules and what you need to know to become a citizen here in the United States. You know, if you're a citizen here in the United States, you must follow the law, or you will go to jail. You probably have those same rules in your country too. But everything that I do hopefully will lend itself to something that is useful. And when you go to your grammar classes, maybe you can ask your teacher, "Teacher, I heard one teacher say this, and I was wondering, why did she do this?" Maybe the grammarian teacher can tell you, and the grammarian teacher may tell you that I am completely wrong. However, the purpose is for you to understand what I want you to know. It does not need to be grammatically correct, because we're not grading papers and we're not writing anything like an official document. So it is not that important.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Great.
What questions can I ask, or what else would you like to see me do with this lesson? I have other ideas for us to do before we get to the top of the hour. Any other thoughts? Okay, I'm going to go back to our screen then. I'm going to go back to sharing the screen and control, and oh, we are already sharing the screen. All right, so this question is for Suna. Suna
has left because she has to go.
Oh, Suna has left? Okay, thank you for informing me. So this will be for Peter. Peter,
I am unlucky.
have you ever ran out of time? Have you ever ran out of time to do something?
Yes, this form is yes, I do, right?
Yes, I have ran out of
Yes, I
something.
have. Sorry, the good
No,
response.
and don't apologize, because the time it takes you to apologize, your brain is saying, what is Peter apologizing for? Let me think about that. What you should say, Peter, is
Yes,
whatever you said incorrectly, and just keep going. All right, so Peter, have you ever ran out of time to do something?
Yes, I have, Priscilla.
And what might that be that you ran out of time?
When I have a lot of jobs and tasks, I run ever.
Okay, so what I hear you say is that when you have lots of tasks on your job, sometimes you run out of time. Is that correct?
Yes, you are right.
Okay, that has happened to me lots of times. For example, when I prepare my lessons for Verbling, I prepare more information that I think I will ever need. However, like today, when there were difficulties with the station, I wasn't sure what I should do, so I ran out of time to give the students everything that I wanted them to do today. But I pursued. I didn't give up. I continued on. Okay, nice job. All right, so Peter, tell me of a time when you did not have enough time to do something. I'm asking you the same question, but I'm phrasing it differently. Tell me of a time when you didn't have enough time to complete something.
Could you repeat, please?
Oh, and who did I ask? I should be asking this of Fidel. Okay. Fidel, give me a time. that this is not grammatically correct, but you can understand it.
Yes, maybe.
Okay, Fidel, give me a time when you needed more time to do something.
Okay, I remember right now that one day I got to a soccer game. So when I came back, I remember that I had to read my email, but I didn't. I was very tired and I slept for almost 1 hour. Next day, when
Let's stop right there. I don't rarely do this, but because it's just you, I want to show you something.
Okay.
You said one day I go to a soccer game,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not teaching grammar, but I understood you. But you should say, one day I went to soccer. This is the difference in what I do and what a grammarian teacher will do. I'm listening for comprehension. Is what you're saying making sense? And it does make sense. One day I go to a soccer game, but I know you want me to know that one day I went to a soccer game. And then you said, when I came back, I realized I had not read my email, and I was. And then it would be, when I returned.
Okay.
But do you see the difference in what I'm saying, how I teach, and what I want you to know? I just want you to speak. I want you to just speak, 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 whether it's correct or incorrect. And then later you will learn how to correct it. But first you must learn how to speak. When you first start driving a car, for example, you think, oh, I'm going to go so slow. I will never pass another car. Ooh, I have to be very, very careful. Shoot, after 2 weeks of driving, you're passing trucks, you're passing cars, you're passing people on bicycles, you're waving out the window because you know how to do more than one thing. So the one thing that I want to teach you is just to speak. When you go to your grammar class, I want you to focus on your grammar, and it will be, but for me, I want you to speak. That was just an illustration. All right, continue with your story. So when I came back, I realized I had not read my email, and I was what?
And I was a little tired.
Okay.
Okay. So I read my emails until the next day. But when I read my mails, I realized that I have to do a lot of tasks, and I have to send those to my chief. Hello.
Okay, I'm here, but I was distracted. Okay, but when I read, but when I read.
Okay, when I read my mails, I realized that I had to do many tasks to send to my chief, and I didn't have enough time to do this.
Okay. To know is that one day you went to a soccer game, and when you returned from the soccer game, you realized you had not even read your email. You were a little bit tired, but the next day you read your email, and then you realized you had many tasks probably sent to you by your supervisor, and you didn't have enough time to complete all of them. Is that pretty much want me to know? Is that correct?
Yes.
Great. So what I did was I listened to you very carefully before I got distracted, and then I summarized what you wanted me to know. And this is what you will find that a lot of native English speakers will do when they are interacting with language learners. We will repeat what we think you want us to know. And then you can say, yeah, yes, that's exactly what I want you to know, but not quite, because what I wanted you to know was I could do the task, but I told my supervisor that I didn't have enough time. And I told my supervisor the reason I didn't have enough time was my mom was sick. I did not tell him that I went to a soccer game. Okay. So now, Fidel, would you ask Peter a question about something? It can be about this story or it can be about something else. Remember, my stories are just to give you a frame of reference to talk from. Do you understand?
Yes. Teacher,
Yes.
I have a question about the cube that the story talked about.
Okay.
It says the cube has 6 numbers, 1x, 10x, and but what was the the challenge to know what was the number?
Yes. Well, let's see. Here is an example. Let's see if I can copy this. Copy and go all the way down because this is the cube, right?
Yes.
This is the cube. Remember? And he said that the cube had 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know how many sides a cube has, but let's just say for this, a cube has, it talked about variables. Okay? This, a variable equals something. At least 2 things is a variable, right?
Yes, I know.
So exactly. So in this case, Sam had to guess 2 things. Do you remember what they were?
Yes.
One would X number of, or would and one did he get correct? Which one did Sam get correct? 1 or 2?
2.
Right. So he got 2 right. Now I can't write on this little cube, but on this cube, and the other thing was, well, he had to, up here could be TV channels, over here could be running the stop sign, over here could be something else, over here could be something else.
Okay.
But when they rolled the dice had to fall on this one for him to win. And Lucky Sam said that the child would click the TV channel this many times, and when all was said and done, he was a winner. Okay? So this was the cube, and these were the variables. These were the variables. 1 and 2 were the variables. So when they tossed the cube, you know what a cube is, like a dice?
Yes.
Okay, but instead of having numbers on it, they had a big box, like a cube box, and they wrote words on it maybe, and they threw the box up in the air, and wherever the box fell down, if it fell on the variable, then you either win or you do not win. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So now you could have asked that question of the other person. Okay. So we're continuing with our conversation. We have about 5 minutes to go. And I'm going to come back to the class. And there I am. All right. So Peter and Fidel, we have about 5 minutes remaining in the class.
Yes.
I really appreciate having my students come back for me. That's very encouraging. I feel very lucky. Yay! I have people coming back.
I have a question.
Yes.
When you said the grammar and the I study grammar a lot of myself because I don't know why.
Me too.
You are lucky.
And continue to study grammar. Continue to study grammar.
but I don't know how could I broke my break or hit my what is the mind is block. My mind will blocked when I go to say I don't know when I start to speak, my mind is blocked. When I read everything, I translate my language, no problem. But when I start to speak, my mind is blocked. I don't know why.
Okay,
Do
let
you
me
have
ask.
some?
Let me ask you a question, Peter. I know
Yes.
that my method is very unique, and it is rare that you will find someone who will speak with you for free, um, the way that I speak to you. And I will give you my example. My son, my niece, my friends, I would say
Yes.
to them, please come talk to my friends on the internet. And they will say, huh, it's so hard for us to understand what you want us to know. It takes too long for us to, unless you are our friend. We really don't enjoy the conversation because
Mhm.
it's like work. It's like work. And when it's work, you don't want to do it. You want to do it because it's fun and you enjoy doing it. And the few times that my son and my friends will come on, they will only stay on for a short period of time, which is not enough time for the language learner to learn their voice and understand what they want you to know. And I almost believe Fidel and Peter, because both of you has or both of you have, doesn't really
Mhm.
matter to me whether I say it correctly or not. It could be both of you have or both of you has. I'm not sure. I think it's both of you have, but it doesn't matter. You are understanding me that I know that both of you have been in my class before. Now that you know my voice, you're getting my voice, and you know that each time I'm going to force you, encourage you to speak without thinking about grammar. So once you understand what I want you to do, the
Mhm.
block is moved from your brain, and this is what your brain is saying. Oh my God, it's Priscilla teaching again. So there's no point in my trying to put a block in Fidel's head. There's no point in my trying to put a block in Peter's head because Priscilla is going to tell them, don't worry, just speak. Just start speaking. And when you start speaking, it's just like riding a bicycle. You start slow, oh, and you fall down. You start again and you fall down. And then pretty soon you can go for 3 minutes and you're talking and you're like, oh, she's understanding me. I'm not really understanding you, but you are speaking. When you start riding a bicycle, you say, okay, I can go straight. I can go straight. I can drive straight. But just as soon as you have to turn, you fall over. But you get back up and you say, I'm going to go straight. I'm going. You fall over, but you don't fall all the way down like you did before. And you start again, and pretty soon you're going to the right, to the left. You can even look back and say, what you say? I got that. And that is how your English is going to progress. And then
I
when you
see.
say, oh, wait a minute, Priscilla said have when it should have been has, because I know that verb to be is blah, 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 blah. But did she understand me? Yes, I did. And that is what you want to do. And so you have to tell your brain, be quiet. I'm going to do this. I can do this. And pretty soon you will find that you are. Now, I can honestly say that if I look back at my notes, and I do make my notes, I could say that from the first time you were in class, this is how much you have improved. You still have a lot of work to do, but you're not as hesitant. And I want
Mm.
every one of you to stop saying, oh, I can't do this, because you can do anything. I've never driven an airplane. I've never driven an airplane in my life. But I think with proper training, I can fly an airplane. Do I want to fly an airplane? No. But if I want to do something, I will do what you all are doing. I will find a good coach to teach me how to do it. That's what they do in the Olympics. The fastest swimmer does not go to a running coach to teach him or her how to swim. A person who loves to sing does not go to a gymnast to teach them how to sing. So I am a conversational coach. Do not come to me for grammar, because that's not what I do, but I can help you get your message out. And you see how quickly I can take what I think you said and put it into a story or into a sentence, and you will be able to do the same thing too. But it is consistency. It is consistency. So continue to come to my classes.
Illustration, thank you.
I will.
Okay, sounds great to me. Tell all of your friends.
We are going to study together.
Okay, sounds like a winner to me. And I will tell you, and it is a plug only for myself, if you come to me, if you come to my private classes, if you take maybe 5 private classes with me, you will have an abundance of information that when you come to the group classes, people will say, my God, how wonderful is this? Is this the same person? That is my promise, that you will be able to do what I say you'll be able to do. It will not be grammatically correct, but you will be able to speak easily and fluently. You will not have the whatevers. But I'm enjoying what I'm doing here. I'm enjoying having you here. And it is at the top of the hour. I need to go get lunch. But thank you so much for participating in my sessions, and I hope to see you next week. I have one more class in about 5 hours from now, and then I will be back again on Monday. I haven't figured out the Verbling schedule, so I don't know how to put myself on a schedule. So I just choose whenever there's a blank spot. But eventually, you'll see me along with everyone else, because I don't know how you all are finding me, but I'm glad that you're here. Thanks for coming, guys. Have a nice weekend.
Have a nice weekend.
Okay, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.
Very well. Bye.